Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is August the 27th, 2023. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. We'll say I'm a bit sleepy, a little tired. But I had a pretty productive morning, early morning. I woke up, got a little walk in. It was nice. Actually, cross paths with an old man. I was like, okay, nice. I felt like kindred spirits here. We're both beating that heat. Speaking of the heat or lack thereof, this morning was like super cool. I came out like literally in a tank top, just regretting it. You know how you do the thing where like you're walking and then you casually just like put your arms up, you cross your arms, and you're just like, oh. It's like I'm not mad or anything. I'm just cold. So, that was a nice change of pace, honestly. I've been sweating just all of last week, just all week, whatever. It's just been pouring out of me. So it's been nice to kind of have a nice, cool morning. I think the heat is rising as we speak, so, it is what it is. But let's see, quick food corner. It was pretty scrappy. I made some noodles and fish sticks were on the side, as well as those diced potatoes that we have still lying around. So yeah, that was a meal. I will say, actually, the sauces came through. It was neat. I had some tartar sauce and I had some relish that I put on the side. I was like, okay, all right, it's nice. So it worked with fish sticks. But yeah, just something to eat. I vegged out like all day. Didn't do anything. Slept a lot. I got a couple of naps in. That was a good part. All right. Let's see here. Gonna do my classic little startup. Sadly, no drink. It's too early, and I just wasn't feeling it today. I say too early, like I haven't done that before. But I do have some iced Earl Grey tea, so that's nice. Gonna enjoy that. All right. Very pleasant. Our first story comes from the AFP. Get it out, Scout. All right. Maybe. It's probably a burp, too. Three U.S. Marines killed in Australia air crash. Oof. Three U.S. Marines were killed Sunday when an Osprey aircraft crashed on a remote tropical island during war games north of the Australian mainland. Rescue workers toiled in fading light to evacuate survivors from the isolated crash site, with U.S. officials saying 5 members have been flown to Royal Darwin Hospital in a serious condition. There was a total of 23 personnel on board at the time of the crash. They are looking into why, what caused it. But to just give a quick rundown on what an Osprey is, it is almost like a cat dog mix of a helicopter and a plane. And in this situation, they were doing Predators Run exercises. It's a series of war fighting drills involving thousands of soldiers from the U.S. and Australia, as well as other militaries such as Indonesia and the Philippines. Now, I've, read this story on a couple of different spots, and it's crazy that, there's this story that happened, and then there's, several other, there's, historical just malfunctions or problems that have kind of come up with this aircraft. And I mean, I guess it's a very effective vehicle or effective, ship, plane. God damn it. But at the same time, it has this high rate of failure, which seems concerning to me. But I don't know. I'm no military man at the end of the day. But yeah, to have just multiple situations where Marines or personnel are getting killed is kind of scary, kind of crazy. There's also been situations where they're like, oh, okay, well, let's do some grounding. This is like from the U.S. Army, and we'll give people more training, and that's good. But at the same time, I think when you're getting into these like certain kind of combat maneuvers, really high intensive, high skill maneuvers, I think it's just maybe hard to pilot these kind of aircraft. Who knows? Who can say? But I mean, they are interesting looking. That's for sure. They seem very menacing. All right, let's move along. From ABC News, multiple people killed in racially motivated shooting at Dollar General in Florida. 3 people were killed in a racially motivated shooting at a Dollar General in Jacksonville, Florida on Saturday. All 3 victims were black, and the suspect detailed a disgusting ideology of hate in writings, according to Sheriff T.K. Waters. Put plainly, the shooting was racially motivated, and he hated black people. Said by Waters. The gunman had, and they don't identify who he is in this article as of yet. They might have, as of this episode. I didn't get into it. I also didn't get the names of the victims as of yet. But if we revisit it and I do have that information, I would probably talk about it. But the gunman was armed with an AR-15 style rifle and a handgun, and outfitted with a tactical vest when he shot 3 people, 2 men and a woman, before turning the gun on himself. And there were no other injuries reported in the shooting. Now, the police came out in heavy presence after that, but also I believe it was reported that, Edward Waters University, a private historically black Christian university, confirmed that a security officer engaged the suspect prior to the shooting when he appeared in the vicinity of a Centennial Library on campus. The suspect refused to identify themselves and was asked to leave, the EWU said. The incident was reported to Jacksonville Sheriff's Office by the EWU. So I kind of think here that he had a much bigger target in mind in this university, and he, didn't execute, was escorted out. It really seems like someone like this was like, oh, I'm trying to do this with zero resistance, because I mean, it really is just cowardice. You want to inflict this pain and be this evil person, but you also don't want to actually like see a gun and actually have to deal with it. So I think they slinked on off and was like, oh, okay, well, I'll hit this Dollar General to make my same point. I don't know. This shit it's upsetting. Like I remember talking about this shit last year with Tops and Baltimore. It feels very similar to that. They do reference another shooting in this article. It was like a video game tournament. I believe it was like a Madden tournament, and the person like lost or something and like came back and shot up the place. Florida is like a fucking player versus player zone, but goddamn. I mean, the shit sucks. It's very unfortunate. I don't know. That there's I get blue in the face talking about the shit when it comes to either guns or it talks about just dealing with this racial shit every day, and then like just also having to deal with people who act like, no, it's not a thing anymore, man. Like, that's old news. We beat racism, dog. What are you talking about? Have you seen Barack Obama? Like, I don't know. It's very frustrating to just have to combat both of these narratives. It's like a two-front thing. Let's see here. This attack occurred while tens of thousands gathered in our nation's capital for the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington, and serves as a painful reminder of how much work needs to be done to realize Dr. King's dream. That was from the ADL, Anti-Defamation League. They sent a statement. So yeah, also the March on Washington took place this weekend. I heard like little snippets of it from Al Sharpton and Martin Luther King Jr.'s son, I believe. Yeah, so yeah. I don't know. This shit sucks. Sometimes it is bad news all around. This shit just, especially just irks me, makes me sad, makes me angry. I could dwell on it longer. I don't want to. So let's move along. From NBC News. 2 arrested after at least 8 people injured in shooting near Boston parade. Let's see. 2 suspects have been arrested after at least 8 people were injured in a shooting that took place during the annual Caribbean Carnival in Boston on Saturday morning. The shooting was not related to the Caribbean parade. Boston Commissioner Michael Cox said during a news briefing Saturday afternoon. Let's see here. It did take place early, like 6:30 a.m. in the morning. So, hey, they are up and at it early. I get it. I'm with that. This was at Jovert Park. Jovier Park. I like Jovier Park. We're gonna go with that. But yeah, it definitely seems like a really rocking event. I got to at least look at some pictures while I was doing some research, and I'm like, man, like, I would have thought you had to go to another country to get this vibe, get this energy. So cool that they're doing it in Boston. Sad that it got, disturbed by this kind of event. I believe it was just 2 groups, having an argument, having an altercation, and sadly, the shit escalates and then people pull out weapons and fucking do that shit. But I do believe that overall, like, festivities did continue. They just kind of had to, like, shut things down to, like, collect evidence, stuff like that. Yeah, definitely a shame that there was a disruption, but, cool that no one was seriously injured, it seems. I think there was, like, 7 who were, like, actually hit. And then there was, like, there was another person, the 8th, that was, like, just, like, they may have been grazed by a bullet, which, that obviously still counts, but I think they just hadn't, like, actually confirmed it at the moment. I don't know. But yeah, so glad that this is a situation that no one died. You know what I mean? That's good. That's a positive. We'll take it. I think that's about it. I would definitely say look it up. It's a vibe. Boston Carnival, man. Boston is one of those places I want to visit. If I could get my travel on, I guess. Not my top 3, but definitely up there. Maybe in the U.S. But whatever. I'm not a traveling guy. I'm a hermit. Anyway, we got one more story to cover. Sadly, it's a bummer. It's still sad. But yeah, talk about stuff like this sometimes. Sometimes it's not a light. Most episodes are very heavy and they're dark, and that's the news. But I try to do what I can. Ooh, and that one was for Bob Barker, R.I.P. We're going to be closing out about. If you hadn't heard the news yet, from CBS News, Bob Barker, longtime The Price is Right host, dies at 99 years old. Bob Barker, who hosted The Price is Right for 35 years, has died. His representative, Roger Neal, told CBS News on Saturday. He was 99 years old. He died at his home, Neal said, adding that he had a beautiful life. Some things I didn't know about Bob Barker was that he hosted another show called Truth or Consequences for nearly 20 years. He also had his own radio show, which is also pretty cool. That's like a very inspirational thing that he kind of just started from very humble beginnings, just worked really hard, was very consistent, and then wound up, in 1972 having a chance to host a revival of The Price is Right. And I don't know, for me, he's maybe the most iconic TV show game host. I just remember, like, whenever I would be calling off for school that day, that's what I was going to be watching, for sure. Is I'm dodging soap operas and I'm watching The Price is Right. And, any other kind of gamey show like that. So that was fun. I remember him talking about spaying and neuter your pets. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, dude, that's cool, that's a vibe. But I didn't know how passionate he was about it. Barker made headlines for his passionate support of animals during the 1987 Miss USA pageant when he refused to host if contestants wore real furs during the televised event. Producers acquiesced and contestants wore synthetic furs that year. But the following year, after 21 years of hosting, Barker resigned when producers refused to stop giving fur coats as prizes. So, I mean, he really held frame here. Even PETA gave him flowers. I think that's pretty cool. That's very rare. Let's see. He's given endowments, lots of money to schools, things like that. That's very cool. But yeah, cool ass dude. Obviously, what was it? Happy Gilmore. The price is wrong, Bob. That kind of fucking shit. But yeah, I don't know. Iconic figure. What was it? I think someone made the joke of he died before turning 100 so that he didn't go over $1. And I was like, yeah, damn, that is pretty legendary. So yeah, we'll end it on that note. That is the episode. Let's see here. Is there anything else to add or report? Nah, y'all know the usual shit. The Patreon, the Google Mail, the Gmail, if you will. So yeah, hopefully I just see you soon for some more good news. I love you. Bye-bye. Mwah.